world.
Should have told her you were sorry.
Dealing with COVID-19 is uncharted territory, and everyone has different challenges. People may feel anxious, down, or overwhelmed. For some, these feelings can lead to changes in sleep patterns, an increased use of alcohol or drugs, or withdrawing from the people around them. If you know someone who's having a hard time coping, you can help by reaching out to talk and listen. To learn more about how you can help someone in need, call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK. Brought to you by the state of Washington.
This is Brenda Charles Edwards, host of Seniors Matter. Join me every week to get information on activities and issues that impact the lives of older adults and their families. That's Seniors Matter every week on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Atlantic Street Center has been serving the children, youth, and families of the Seattle-King County area since 1910. We partner with families and communities to raise healthy, successful children and youth with services including counseling, early learning, youth development, domestic violence, and education support for school-age children. Committed to serving the African American community, Atlantic Street Center provides services and support for all marginalized people. Learn more at AtlanticStreetCenter.org.
Women Empowerment Talk Radio, your roadmap to business success. Tune in every Sunday at 3 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio.world, providing resources and sharing motivational experiences from the everyday entrepreneur. Tune in Women Empowerment Talk Radio every Sunday, 3 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
This is an important message about coronavirus. With coronavirus still spreading, those who are most likely to get seriously ill must take extra precautions. You are at a higher risk for getting seriously ill if you are over 65 or if you have any serious underlying medical conditions, like heart disease, chronic lung disease, like asthma, diabetes, or if you're undergoing cancer treatment. If you're at a higher risk for getting seriously ill, it's essential you take extra care to protect yourself. Stay home, avoid close contact with others, wash your hands frequently with soap and water for 20 seconds, disinfect frequently touched objects like doorknobs and light switches. The choices you make are critical, and their impact is significant.
Here with the Rainier Avenue Radio Traffic Update. You can listen to us in your car 24/7 anytime by downloading the free TuneIn app. Once you do, search Rainier Avenue Radio. And remember, do not curse out your fellow drivers. This has been your Rainier Avenue Radio Traffic Update.
Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the show, Real Estate and Money. We're coming out.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me? Great. Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Hey,
Okay, yes.
How are you?
Good.
Great, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone,
you
for joining us. Real Estate and Money on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. And I'm Violeta Strash with Coldwell Banker Danforth.
Yes, and I'm Tina Lombard with Bank of England Mortgage. Thank you for joining us. Great. So as we can see, V has got a beautiful background there, and she is, of course, celebrating spring. And March 19th is the equinox. March 19th is when we turn into spring. So yay, this is spring day. Yes.
And that behind me is a picture of the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival. This year, it is happening April 1st through the 30th. So make sure you make your way up there, up north. It's beautiful. Always.
It is. I remember I've got up there every year for the Tulip Festival, starting in, now until the last two or 3 weeks of April. Yes, celebration of spring. And we've got Easter. Easter's coming up, not this weekend, but the weekend following, on Sunday this weekend. But this means that we are officially into spring.
Yeah.
And, Violeta's going to talk, and I'm going to talk a little bit today about the sellers out there who want to get their house prepared for spring, and also for your home buyers, those home buyers who want to be prepared right now for spring so they can hit the market late spring or early summer. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the sellers, Tina, and then we'll go into what the buyers need to do to buy these wonderful homes that are now popping up left and right in the market. Still, the inventory shows that there's a lot more pending than there are homes for sale. So if you are planning on selling your home anytime soon, please do give me a call. and we can discuss what you need to do. And let me go for some of those things. And Tina, feel free to jump in if you have any thoughts on any of these points. So to maximize the amount of money you will get for your home, you want to do a few things here. I got 10 things. So real quick, I want to talk about decluttering. We've talked about this. Declutter and depersonalize your home, because you don't want, I've gone into the internet. A lot of people search for the homes using the internet, and there are homes that, one, do not have professional photography done. They're taking pictures themselves, and there is craziness in each of the rooms. You know, they never picked up this is how they live, so they figured that's how, you know, people wanting to come in and look at their home, this is what they're going to see. Well, I, for one, am not going to call and ask to show your house, because I don't want my buyers to freak out and say, oh no, don't know what's living underneath that pile of clothes or behind all those dishes in the sink, you know, underneath all the dishes. And yeah, so please declutter and depersonalize, meaning don't have family photos out. We don't want people to know who actually lives in the home for safety purposes. That's just thing to do nowadays. And then number 2, deep clean. I have a seller right now who, after she's done packing her stuff, we're going to get a total house cleaned and get professional cleaners in there to do the carpeting and to do, she wants to do her windows. How nice will that be to let in light and not see all the, you know, stains and all that on the windows. So let's talk about the curb appeal. You know, let's talk about putting some pots of plants that you can take with you when you move to your other house. But just for the front door, you know, make it more appealing. Make sure someone pressure washes your driveway, sidewalks, front porch, just to make sure no one slips and falls, for one. And it makes it look nice and clean. Don't you think, Tina?
Yes, absolutely. Well, we don't think what we see every single day, we think it's just normal, but there's probably grime there that needs to be, decades of grime that need to be pushed away. So yes.
Yes, and if you have cars that are sitting in the driveway for years that have not moved, get it out of the way and make sure there's nothing growing under there. You know, you could have a whole field of weeds growing underneath that truck that's covered. And then make sure that you make repairs that's obvious. Chip paints as you walk up. You paint the front door. If you have a dog, I've seen this where you have big dogs that are trying to claw their way into the front door, and they ruin the door. Or, you know, just maybe repaint it if you can, sand it, repaint it, and maybe even get a new front door if it's that bad. And I've seen that bad situations.
Right.
Stage your home. Again, you want to make sure everything looks like it would if you were living in those homes, and you want people to see how you can maximize the space and what you can do for them to visualize what they can do in each of the rooms that you have staged. So it's kind of a do, and again, try to get maximum dollars for your home that way. Again, letting in natural light, so make sure your curtains are not stripped to shreds by your cats or whatever, you know, and open them up and let the light in, and having those windows cleaned would be great as well. Highlight outdoor spaces. If you've got a patio, Tina has a hot tub, you know, and have it operational, and put some maybe plants around in strategic areas. Put a couple bottles of or a bottle of wine in a champagne bucket, and have some glass sitting there, you know, evening environment for people to see what they can do with that space. And patios with furniture, or, you know, your fireplace, what do you call those? just outdoor. What is
Fire
that called?
pits. The fire
Fire
pits, you mean? Yeah.
Pits. The fire pits, yes, and have a seating area for that. Your barbecue area, if you have an outdoor kitchen, kind of, get it looking nice and usable. Address odors. Pet odors can be very discouraging for people who walk in, and they'll turn right around and say, "Oh, can't do this," or if they smell the pet, they'll say, "I'm allergic to pets. I'm going to have to fumigate the house, get new carpets put in, the whole bit, because totally allergic."
No, it's a true story. When I was here in Colorado, I was selling my house in Federal Way, Washington, and a girlfriend of mine was a stager, and the house had been on the market for like maybe 4 months, and it wasn't moving at all. Maybe 2 people even came in to see it. She walked into the house. She said, "Tina," she called me up. She said, "Your house stenches of dog." She said, "I don't know if it's some big giant, Marmaduke or something." She said, "The house smells. As soon as I walk 1 foot from the door, the house smells of dog." Now, of course, my renter should not have had dogs in there, but it makes a big difference. She's like, "Tina, if you want to sell this house, all the staging in the world is not going to work. You need to come in here and fumigate." So I actually had to fly down there, and I ripped out all the carpet, and I painted all the walls. Because the smell, no matter the amount of staging or decor that you have, if it smells, there's something else that needs to be looked at. That's what people think.
Yeah, and it can sink all that urine can sink through the carpet onto the floor, will stain the floor. If you have hardwood floors under there, for example, it would ruin the floors. And I had a client last year who actually was allergic to animals and their dander, whatever. I didn't smell much of anything, but she was very allergic. She ripped up all the carpeting throughout the entire house and put in hardwood floors.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And what else? Again, professional photography. Make sure that, when you have your stager come in, take a look at the walls. Again, it's off-putting if you have different color in each room. Not necessary. People can't get beyond that at times. So a neutral color would be best. And if you do have neutral walls, if there's chips or gouges, whatever, just go around, mark it and have it touched up before you get it on the market. And then again, pricing competitively. You don't want to overprice, because then you're sitting there waiting for something to happen. Then you're going to end up having to reduce the price. You don't want to look like a fool. So make sure you look around your neighborhood, see what everything is pricing for. Actually, your agent should be doing that. That's what I would do with my clients, and take a look and see what is happening with people out there. And, I did a bit on my Facebook posts today about, saving you money. If you want to remodel or renovate to get your house ready to sell, don't go overboard. What if a buyer is out there looking for light and bright, airy spaces, and you love the dark, dramatic look in your kitchen, mood lighting and all that? No, just try to be neutral. Don't spend the money. They're going to redo it the way they want to do it anyway.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So what you put into it, they're going to rip it up and spend even more money. So what a waste.
Yeah.
So there you have it for now. And then I'll come back later with some ideas as you are spring cleaning. So whether you're going to stay at your house or you're getting ready to move, there are places that I'll give you a short list of places where you can donate items.
Well, it's funny because I've been watching Netflix. Have you ever seen the television show called Hoarders?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, take a good look at that before you start selling your house. Okay. You don't want to be a hoarder. A lot of people think that your junk and their collections are marvelous, and they really aren't. Or they may be your collection, but not anybody else's. So just make sure, a house, it's kind of like if you're going out on a date and you're trying to meet a new man or a new woman, you're not going to come all crazy, your hair all crazy, and, no grooming whatsoever, just wearing any old thing. No, you want to make sure that you put your best foot forward. Even going to a job interview, you want to groom yourself. You want to make sure that you look appealing. You want to make sure that you look healthy, everything else. It's the same thing with a house. If your house is a sick, destroyed, mutilated home, what have you, you really need to get rid of it. And actually, it was fine for you, but for everybody else, it is not. You want to make sure you go in there and you groom the outside, you groom the inside, you get rid of all this junk. And Violeta is going to be talking to you a little bit later about where you can put some of this stuff. You want to
Hey,
make sure the roof is good. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I used to live in Knickknack Village. My
Oh,
mom
did you? Okay.
collected
yeah.
all
No.
kinds of stuff. He and
Yeah.
Filipinos collectors
glass
of
figurines
things.
everywhere, forks on the wall. Yeah, I know. The big wooden forks on the wall, knives from the different islands of the Philippines. Yeah, I know.
Here's 3 words for you all. Less is more.
Less is more. Okay, now let's go on the other side. So me and Violeta were talking about, she's going to talk about the seller side. I'm going to talk about the buyer side to give you some insight as a seller to what people are looking for. First of all, if you have a house and it is dilapidated, sometimes you're going to get some buyers who say, hey, the plumbing's bad, the electrical is bad, the roof's got a hole in it, I can get a good deal. And so they're out there, I can get a good deal. Lenders are not going to touch that mess. We are not going to touch that mess. If you ever should default on your home for whatever reason, we're not going to take a house where the electrical needed to be done, plumbing needed to be done, the roofing with a hole in it. We're not going to take that on. Okay, so if you say, hey, I'm going to sell as is, there's a hole in the basement, there's this and that, it's haunted, I got the ceiling's been leaking for the last 10 years, the fireplace has got raccoons nesting in it, I'm just going to sell as is. Well, unless you get a cash buyer, and if you do get a cash buyer, they're going to really seriously discount what you can get on your house. It's much better for you to go out there and talk to Violeta, talk to your agent, go out there and see what you can do to make sure that the appraisal is up to par so that a lender will buy on it. Now, there are several different categories of an appraiser as far as the value of the upkeep of a house. C1, C2, C4, C5. C5 basically is the worst. Okay, none of the doors work. There's no roof on the top. The water's been flooding for the last 5 years. That's the worst. Okay, and number 1, of course, is like new construction or just everything is maintained. So make sure, sellers, you have to make sure that your house is at least up to code, so where a lender would actually lend on it. Now, a lot of times you're going to get these buyers who are like, listen, I'll just take it as it is. We'll take the pits in the backyard. We'll take the graves that are digging in the backyard. We'll take the stuff out in the front. We'll take everything, but when it comes down to financing, they will not get financing. So please, it really behooves you, unless you're, in a situation, Violeta, where a seller is maybe elderly and they really do not have the capacity to fix up the house. Sometimes the agents will step in and take care of it. But on the buy side of it, we cannot even land on a house if it is under par. Okay, so you've got to be at least commensurate to the market. You have to at least be, prepared. So buyers are going to go in, and the first thing they want to do is, first-time home buyers, they want a kitchen, they want maybe a kid's room, maybe a man cave, a garage, a minimum, 1 or 2 bedrooms and a bath. They want to make sure these first-time home buyers, they don't have $80,000 put down on your house. They don't have $120,000 to drop on your house. A lot of them have 5% down or 3% down, or they have a down payment assistance program. They do not have the money to rip up your carpet. They do not have the money to get a new water or a container, water heater or furnace or new plumbing. They don't have that money. And the first-time home buyers make over 30% of the market. Okay, and if your house was a first-time house, a first-time home buyer is going to buy your first-time house. So be very, very careful when you do buy a house. These people, they do not have the money to fix up your house in order for the bank to actually lend on it, if that makes sense. So Violeta, I had some gentleman last month, by the grace of God, he found a house that was built in 1904 in Des Moines,
Wow.
1904. And the foundation was broke. There was leaking water in the floor. The roof was dilapidated. The house had shifted. I don't know. But the seller actually had to pay like $80,000, brought the price down $80,000, plus gave him all the closing costs. And my gentleman, he did not have, he had like 10% to put down, which is a good sum of money, but he didn't have $150,000 put down on that dilapidated house. He did not. So you really want to find out when you do sell your house, make sure it is at least up to par. That way you will get competition. If a house is being sold for $650,000 and it's up to par, you may get $665, $685. In Seattle, it's not too uncommon for it to even hit $700 if you're at least average. If you're dilapidated, you'll get some offers, but where's the money going to come from? It's either going to come out of you as a seller, but that most of the time the buyers do not have the money to fix the furnace, to fix the plumbing. They cannot finance into the loan unless they do a renovation loan. So maybe we can talk about a renovation loan. If you want to do a renovation loan, you're talking about 6 months of your life gone. So as a first-time home buyer, it's a lot for them to look at a house and your house is dilapidated or it's below average. So I suggest, and say with Violeta, and most realtors and most mortgage people, buy a house that is at least average fixing. And same thing with sellers. Please do not sell your house below market or sell where it's dilapidated, hoping that somebody is going to take the difference up.
Tell them what happens you send out an appraiser?
We actually, yes.
And then they
so
come
whenever
back
somebody buys a
below?
house, yeah. So when people do buy a house, you do your own inspection, and that's on the real estate side. You do your, $300-400 inspection, make sure that everything is copacetic. And if you're fine with that, we actually do an appraisal. Appraisal does not inspect your house. They don't jump on the roof and start jumping on the roof. They don't go in your basement, start poking holes. But what they see, they will report. If they see moth on your roof, they're going to call for a roof cert, or they're going to call for the whole thing. It'll unravel. Maybe the whole roof needs to be fixed. Okay, we will order an appraisal to make sure the house is at least up to par. We're not going to start jumping on the roof. We're not going to start poking holes in the basement. If we see a leak stain in the ceiling or on the wall, you see a water stain. Oh, bet your life on the fact that they're going to ask for some type of a water inspection. Okay, so we actually order our appraisal. We don't just give money out to anybody. Okay, we want to make sure the house, if for whatever reason you should default, that we can actually get our money back. So make sure your house is up to par. Don't try to hide things. I've seen pictures. I've seen people put pictures in front of stains on the ceiling. They put carpet on the wall. They do all this different stuff to hide what's going on. Now the appraiser won't see it because they're like this. But if they see it, they will call it out. But you as a buyer, if you buy a house where there is some mold and you try to hide it, the seller's trying to cover it up, I guarantee you, when you buy that house 6 months later, you have a whole city of mold in the basement, and you kind of lied to get the loan to go through. So make sure sellers, if you see that there's something wrong with you saying, hey, there's mold in the basement, hey, there is a leak in the ceiling. In fact, it's the law. Am I correct? They have got to disclose what they know is wrong with the house. So sellers, there's nothing bad. But if you know that there's mold, that you have to sell it, and you're going to have to mitigate. But don't hold anything back. Just make sure.
The inspection's going to bring that out. Yeah.
But yeah. And sometimes inspections, they're 100%. Sometimes they'll miss things. So I had my friend Julie, she bought her house, I think it was 2 houses ago or something. And there was a crack in the tile in the bathroom, and it was leaking water. And the inspector didn't find it the first time around. But, so I forgot how she remedied it. But, sometimes they won't find it. But if you see a stain on the floor, that water got there from somewhere. If you see that the house is kind of shifted or the doors are kind of like leaning this way, there's something wrong. Don't turn a blind eye to it. Because if you buy a house and it goes past the inspector, it goes past the appraisal, and it comes up later on in life, you're the one that's going to have to pay for it. There's no seller around. There's no recourse. Okay, so for the sellers on your side, just make sure your house is up to par. It doesn't have to be, the Taj Mahal. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be anything like that. But it does need to be up to par at least to get some value for it and have no problems before closing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we find a lot of.
Yeah, but no appraisal, it'll be up to you, buyer, to ask the seller to take care of the difference. Or if you really want the house, you're going to have to pay the difference. Somebody's going to pay for that house.
First-time home buyers, and people have got to realize, first-time home buyers don't have $20,000 to work on a roof. They don't. So you're going to have to fix it.
Right.
Unless it's like you got a $2 million home and this is the third or fourth time home buyer. Of course, maybe you can negotiate. But usually that higher echelon people take care of their house. But if you've got a first time home buyer house that you bought as a first time home buyer, don't expect that first time home buyer to have $27,000 to fix your plumbing. And another thing, Violeta, if you are a seller, there is conventional financing, there's FHA financing, and there is VA financing. And I know sometimes a long time ago, a lot of realtors were saying, oh, don't do VA, don't do FHA, because the sellers will never accept it. Not only is that illegal, it doesn't benefit anybody.
Yeah.
Right now, FHA rates and normal times, whether rates are high or low, FHA is at least a point to maybe even a point and a half below conventional. So it only makes sense to go FHA. Okay. So a lot of times if you're a seller and a realtor comes up to you, they say, no, we're not going to accept FHA. Report them because that's illegal. Okay. And number two is with an FHA, for example, or VA, you actually can get more bang for your buck. So the rates are usually lower. The MI is controlled. So a lot of times an FHA is the best buy for your house. So if you ever get a realtor who says, well, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do FHA. You get 5 offers on the table. Violeta, this happens a lot. You get 5 offers on the table. One guy is at par. The other one is below. The other one's below. And then FHA would be $20,000 higher. And the realtor would say, well, we just don't do FHA. Okay. A lot of times I'm so tempted just to turn people in and say that's completely illegal. So if you are a seller out there, anybody's financing, I don't care if they get a loan from
you're frozen.
Oh, am I frozen? No, you're. If you get a loan from Two House, if somebody makes an offer, take the offer. You are not the bank. You are not a lender or an underwriter. You don't know anything about somebody's financing. So I don't care where the financing comes from. If somebody gives you an offer, it's legit. Do not discriminate against FHA or 1223 Bank, or if they're getting money from Mexico, or they're getting money from Korea, they're getting money from wherever. If it's an offer, it's an offer. So if you're a seller, you need to educate yourself on the education of the financial institutions here in the United States. There's thousands of different types of financing. I do some of the basic ones, but there's all types of financing. If you get an offer, you get an offer. Do not discriminate against the loan or the age of the recipient or what color they are. That happens a lot. You just want the best offer for your house. And if you have a realtor that's saying, don't do this, don't do that, change your realtor. Okay. That's all I got to say. Yeah. Same thing with the lender. If you have a lender saying, well, you shouldn't go HA or you shouldn't go conventional, change your lender, because that is highly illegal and you're not going to get the biggest bang for your buck. So just make sure when you're a seller, you're open to everything. And when you're a buyer, you've got to be open to everything too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why you need to go to Tina, because she has everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
She'll find the best thing for you, but she's got everything, access to everything.
Well, so the thing is, I know I can just say that to be cheeky, but I've been doing this for 34 years. I cannot afford to work for a company that doesn't offer you all the programs. That's why I'm at Bank of England Mortgage, because they do every single thing that's out there. But a seasoned loan officer is not going to be at 123 Bank. Been doing it for 2 years. A lot of times I get those declines. But same with your real estate agent. I mean, Violeta is like tops. So don't just go to your cousin's, uncle's, brother, sister who just got their license 2 weeks ago. That's not going to really help out unless they are really good people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. How much time we got here?
Yeah.
Were you done, Tina? Should I go through my quick list?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
For sellers, for homeowners who want to get rid of their stuff and don't know where to go. Here's a few places besides your typical Value Village and Goodwill. They're in every community. Habitat for Humanity is one. They're here in Washington. We have Vision House. You donate bedding, toiletries, small kitchen appliances, and tools. There are some places where it was kind of odd to me. I think it was when I was selling Dave Drewey's house, Tina. Yes. They would not. I think it was Habitat for Humanity. You got to ask them the rules on what types of furniture they'll take, because they would not take something that has been painted over.
Mm-mm, they won't,
which is weird.
Yeah.
No, they left some furniture because his wife, the owner's wife, just decided she wanted to do a distressed look and painted some furniture. They wouldn't take any of it. Mary's Place is a good one for the area. And these are all nonprofits. Children's Hospital, Bargain Boutique, Friendly Earth Recycling for your electronics, appliances, scrap metal, machinery, computers. Seattle's Gospel Mission, Union Gospel Mission, great organization for food, clothing, vehicles.
They'll take pianos and stuff like that. They take like
They
pianos.
do?
Like
oh, I wish I had known that. I just gave my piano away. They just hauled it away. And another seller I had, they just broke down the piano and tossed it in the garbage.
Next time, call me, Violeta. Next time, call me. Yeah, next time, call me. There's plenty of churches out there. Yeah. Northwest Furniture Bank. They'll come pick up your furniture and take it down to Tacoma where they're housed, and they will help out those people in need for housing and furniture. Yeah. So anyway, if you are looking for stuff like that, give me a call and I will set you up with any of these organizations that I'll have a list of organizations that you can go to, call, and have them come pick up, or you drop off stuff. But yeah. And I also know, I think the VA,
I'm still spring cleaning.
Yeah.
From when I moved.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, it looks like we're out of time, but we're going to continue with our sellers and our buyers phrase next week, our spring edition. So thank you for joining us this week. Do we have any announcements, V?
Yeah, no. just a Thursday lineup on Rainier Avenue Radio now has Traffic Jam, Seattle Here and Now with our good friend John Yasutaki, and Metro Sports Weekly. So a new lineup for Thursdays. And I think that's it. There's always sports happening, and I don't know what's crawling across the screen, but we're all set for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, I'm Violeta Strash with Coldwell Banker Danforth.
And I'm Tina Lombard with Bank of England Mortgage. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.